Anyways, lots of crazy things happening the last month or whatever. And like Rav Shneur Zalman these states, we live at our times, and we live at our Torah portions, Chumash, Telem, Tanya, Chitas, Chulu, 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 Zohar, all of Torah's Hashem talking to us, Hashem communicating with us, Chulu, Chulu, Chulu. Everything that happens around us, everything we see, current events, Chulu, 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 is messages from the king, Melech Makom Melachim. And the king doesn't have to talk to us. The king just have to simen, and we have to understand, like the famous story of in the Gemara, where one advisor didn't know the simanim of the king. He said, so, if you don't know the simanim of the king, so why are you in the king's court? Chulu, chulu, chulu. So there's a lot of crazy things happening all over. You see, we'll start with Gimel Tammuz, then Chai v'Kayam, Megillah leYechida, Chai and Yechida. So the tzad is Chai v'Kayam, like a story that which was Eliyahu Hanavi, I believe. I'm not sure, I forgot, but they gave he's able to give him double portion, double portion the day of his death. Because in death, he's Chai v'Kayam. We see with the tzaddikim, we see with the Rebbe, we see happening all over. The Rebbe's Chassidim are one. The Rebbe doing things all over the place, like one Chassid was telling me a crazy story. He went to do shlichus in Japan, and they started throwing out the Lulav and Esrogim. So he's like, he started praying to Hashem, and he's like, I came here to do Miftayim, what am I going to do? And right in the middle, they're like, okay. They threw out 1 and 2, and then they didn't touch the rest. He said it's amazing, like the Rebbe took over. Rebbe took over their body and just started making things happen. He was able, and he was left with a bunch of res. And maybe the ones they threw out is interesting. Maybe they were puzzled. So so everything's exact what Hashem is about. So we see, anyways. In the Gimel Tammuz, a lot of things happened in Gimel Tammuz. As you see, there was Sasson was talking about all the days of Chabad, and he sees all the days of Kedusha and all the days of Hashem Yisparah. Crazy things are happening all over the world. Torah Chais is happening all the time. It's happening live right in front of us. So see, Gimel Tammuz, somebody wrote, I don't know if it's true or not, somebody wrote that the civil war against Paro happened at Gimel Tammuz, and we know that Yeshua ben Nun stopped the sun in Gimel Tammuz to win the war. So what happened now is interesting. We look at the current events. What happened now is interesting. Exactly in Gimel Tammuz, Porzingi, whatever his name is, when big balls, went in war. He went the civil war against Putin, so it's crazy. I don't know, so it was done. There's another Inyan Gula that it was settled peacefully. That's Inyan Gula as well, because everything Gula is it said the Sar Shalom, the Melech Moshiach Sar Shalom, Chulu Chulu. Everything is peaceful, and the ways of Hashem is peaceful and pleasant. Dechedakenom Chulu Chulu Chulu. So Pinchas, I was talking about this in the Beit Knesset. I was talking to some people, say, what do we learn from Pinchas? See, Pinchas have big balls, man. You see, all of them is the Ma'aseh U'ikar. We see Inyan for Purim, that Hashem already gave the Gula in Sivan, and only in Adar we took it into our own hands. So we want the Gula, we have to be like Pinchas. We have the big balls, man. We have to actually do things. The Ma'aseh U'ikar, when we take action, we see Nachshon ben Aminidov. Things start to happen, crazy things start to happen. Hashem, the Gula Hashem already gave us a long time ago, but it's now for us to take it with our own hands, to actually take the Gula. Chulu chulu chulu. We see Moshe Rabbeinu. We see the Messiah never is talking to, is that Rav Ganachev Shabbat is talking to him. Is interesting. We're talking about that the Pinchas is actually crazy Mesiras Nefesh, because he could have been doing against Hashem Yisbarach. So the Sia is Mesiras Nefesh what he did. First he's putting his life on the line. That he goes after, they could have murdered him, and then he could have been doing against Hashem Yisrael. So seeing the same parasha talking about Tzalafchot, same thing. Tzalafchot is Mesiras Nefesh that for Am Yisrael, that nobody should break Shabbat. So Tzalafchot, and we see Dafka, Tzalafchot's daughter. So they say, what was it? It's Tzalafchot's daughter that that they did were the hefik of the sin of the spies, because the sin of the spies, they wanted to stay in the midbar, and they wanted to sit in peace, in the desert, and relax in the desert, and have the manna, just hang out, because it's nice and chill, and it's all good, and Hashem's just giving us cool stuff, and so they didn't want to go into Eretz Yisrael, but Dor Salafka took the initiative and said, no, not only do we want to go into Eretz Yisrael, we're already thinking about settling the land. We already want to live in. We want, our father wasn't part of the sin of Korach. So, and Hashem said, yeah, you should go to them. So it started. Inyan v'nashim titkanyot neganu, nashim titkanyot negael, chulu. So what's my point? A whole bunch of points. Yeah, Pinchas, Nachshon ben Minidab, and you see Avram Avinu jumped into the fire. Daniel jumped into the lion's cage, and you see throughout all Torah, it's Esther, Esther, you know how much, balls you have to do what she did. So, yeah. What else is my point? So yeah, that was in Pinchas, Pasha Pinchas. So let's get into the Yom Yom. When we read the passage called Matos and Masei in the 2 separate weeks, the passage of the Torah that is read for the second Aliyah on Shabbos afternoon, and again Monday and Thursday morning, continues until the end of the account of all the journeys. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells us the message for Hashem is the end of all the journeys. Also, the 42 journeys represent in our lives Gula Pratasim. Each one of us have to get this Gula Pratasim. We get this Gula Pratasim, then we can reveal we have this Gula within us. It's actually pretty crazy, because yesterday I had a crazy day, ended up multiple Farbrangans, Farbies, hanging out with my friend, having a nice Farbi at the age. We're doing a nice 4th of July. A week later, it was cool because I saw a letter from the Rebbe. The Rebbe was talking about it. When he got to America, it's Inyan, because from America, it's Magir de Gula, this Inyan of Chofshiyut and freedom. America, land of the free. And the Rebbe said the Rebbe wrote a letter about this, that he got to, he arrived in the States, and the day he arrived in the States, they declared July 4th a national holiday, which is pretty cool. That's just a side point. What's my other points? I had a whole bunch of points I wanted to make. So you see that, and then we had the Yud Chag Geula, Yud Beis Yud Gimel Tammuz. That I was sitting with my friend Chaim on the porch over there, and Pitom, boom, it was a huge explosion. And the next day, reading the papers, reading Ruth Shevers, as I read that there was a couple of bombs. They shot some anti-tank missiles. It sounded like it could have been nuclear explosion. Who the hell knows? But Hashem saved us in Chag Geula. So like the Riyadh says that Hashem didn't just goel oto from the prison and we also see Inyan the Rebbe Riyadh is like Pinchas, because Rebbe Riyadh he fought against him, was a lot younger. He had such mysterious nefesh, and he sent the shlichim, they had crazy mysterious nefesh. And when he's fighting a police officer when he's a little kid to protect another Jew, and then he's sitting in the prison after they tortured him, Yimach Shemam, and he's sitting there and they're holding his gun to his head, fearless. This, what did he say? This is they said to him, this toy has made many people talk. And he said, the Rebbe Yatz answered him, this toy, this makes people talk who have one world and many gods, but I have either he said 2 worlds, or referring to multiple worlds. He had 2 worlds and 1 God. So that's another. I was just discussing this with my mother. We're discussing that this world. Like they were like the Baal Shem Tov states. We could brought in the world. The world is there's things happening all over us. We have to realize we're here. There's things happening above the Mila. We're here. To do good. We're here to do Torah mitzvot. We're here to be good to one another. After the Chamocha, like the Baal Shem Tov says that we, people, we can be put in this world 70 years just to do a mitzvah for another Jew. Just to comprehend that. People think everything else is important and everything else is the main deal. The Baal Shem Tov comes, no. Baal Shem Tov comes and states, no, is to do a mitzvah for another. To be good to one another. Chulu, chulu, chulu. And then we have the inyan Elio, that Elio is Pinchas, and Elio is also Kanel. Hashem is what we're talking about, the inyan Kanel. Hashem is if you have the inyan in Kanel, this is satanic, demonic, but it's Kanel, Hashem is like Pinchas and Elio. So, Hashem afachat kol olamot b'shvilhem. This is another inyan, get into another inyan. Elio, that the Rebbe was Elio Hanavi. And the Rebbe was talking about that he Vaser the Gula, and he was Moshiach ben Yosef, and one of the souls of Moshiach ben David. But the Rebbe was talking about another, Dvar Machos was talking about the holy soul of Melech Mashiach. The Melech Mashiach gets the holy soul when he gets to certain points, waiting for him, just like Pinchas was waiting for Pinchas the Kohanut, and he had to Kanel Hashem Yisbarach, Hashem, he had to do the action of Masu or Iker, and then Hashem gave him the Kohanut. So the same thing when Melech Mashiach came to this point of tshuva. It says Melech Mashiach is about tshuva, and about tshuva it stands in place where even the tzaddikim can't stand. Then he receives, Melech Mashiach receives, it happened already years ago. The Rebbe talks about it already in Dvar Machot Acher, that it already happens, where it could be in a situation where it already happens, and the Am is not ready to kabel Pnei Melech Mashiach, but the Mashiach has already given the soul, the Yechidah. And which Yechidah, Rebbe's talking about himself, the holy Yechidah. Rebbe's talking about his soul, like Rebbe states that Moshiach ben Yosef and Moshiach ben David are together. When they work together, and the Rambam emphasizes this, which says the Moshiach ben Yosef is resurrected and put in Guf Mamash, the Guf Shel Moshiach ben David, Guf Shel David HaMelech, different souls. And one rabbi is talking about it, Yaakov Avinu, one of the souls of Yaakov Avinu, one of the souls of the Rebbe, the Yechidah is the Rebbe. This is my personal belief. And then Ruach Elohim Echefet Apnei Hamayim, that Hashem is Baruch B'atzmo. We see, the Rebbe loved Moshiach ben David. The Rebbe is always talking about Moshiach ben David, but when we look into Zohar Geula, because the Geula comes through Shnei Mashiachim, Moshiach ben Yosef, Moshiach ben David, and Moshe Benu and Moshe Ben, which Moshe Ben happened to be the two, the soul of both of the Mashiachs. So they're all bringing the Geula together. We understand things correctly. And then we see a lot of things that are talking about Zohar, everything talking Torah and Kabbalah is exactly what's happening in different places and times, dimensions, worlds, chulu. That's one inyan I want to see two crazy things happen. Then, just talking to, just discussing with my friends. Finally, I don't follow Israeli politics. I didn't follow in a while, but I was reading the news to see. Finally, interesting because they're going crazy over here in this protest all day. It was very interesting because I was looking it up, and you see the whole inyan, the hatred to this poor man, and the Rebbe said, I think the Rebbe said, and then it was another tzaddik who said, who is it? Which tzaddik? Hamanuch, I forgot. Rav Kador, I believe, said that BBO is going to be the last prime minister before Melech HaMashiach. Melech HaMashiach is going to take over, already took over. It's just not like the Zohar Geula says, Mashiach ben Yosef is Galus, and Mashiach ben David is Chafia. We don't see. He's hidden. So Mashiach ben Yosef, we know who Mashiach ben Yosef is. Mashiach ben David, we don't know. Maybe some people know, whatever. But, who knows? Who knows? So what's my point? So this is those inyanim. What other inyanim? I want to say some other points. I can't even think. What's my other points? So we had that. So over here we have a pure message of end of times, happening now. That Novin gives Magulaschem. So you have that inyan. Let's see. Oh yeah. So I was just in the middle talking the whole situation. BBO I was interested. I was just talking to my friends. It's pretty cool because looking things that are happening. And you see they're going crazy. So I was just discussing with my friend, what are they going crazy? What's everything? You see the pure hatred toward this poor man. You start to feel bad for him. I used to be a BBO. I'm not a BBO fan anymore after all the things that happened in the last couple of years. But it's interesting. You feel bad after when so much oppression towards a person. You feel bad. It's actually in the Beit Knesset. Someone was giving Vartoy was talking about how Hashem felt bad after he saw that when Balak the Jew hater. That's another inyan. that the transformation, the Kabbalah comes as a Moavit, from the biggest Jew hater, it comes out, Kodesh Baruch transforms everything into good and the Geulah, chudu, chudu, chudu. Because Moshiach comes from Moavit. Yeah, so my whole point, I was looking at it, and I said, you know something, man? Everybody just screaming, we want Mashiach now. Everybody's going crazy. They want, BBG, trying to get out of a situation. B told me cares about the Judaical reform. And the Judaical reform is a bunch of bullshit anyways. All Memshalah Zadon anyways. But why is everybody going crazy? Everybody's screaming, we want Mashiach now, And then we look at another thing. I'll just say another thing, Talk about even in the Tuma. We saw this whole story I was talking about. Even in the Tuma, you see that this whole story with Zion Williamson and Maria Mills. You see Tion and Maria. she's like Har Maria. Har Maria. Because, she's built whatever. I can get into that. Whatever, man. Maybe I'll make a Kiddush Lavanas. Whatever, man. Alright. Anyways. So let's just finish over here. Trying to think. We're going to come to the end of our journeys, man. It's the end of journeys. But as my Thomas says, we go to 42 journeys. We get to Agula present. Now time to enter into Eretz Yisrael. Machtu Eretz Yisrael. And another Dvar Malchus talks about Machtu Eretz Yisrael. The whole world becomes Eretz Yisrael. And Israel becomes Yerushalayim. And this is something I brought up in previous shurim that I was bringing about. If you look at from the maps of Yechezkel, either the whole world has to be destroyed and has to start from scratch or new, or you can look at it in another inyan, like we know that in 770, the dimensions of 770 from the Aron Kodesh to the Bima to the roof is the exact measurements of the Mizbeach. So you can maybe look at it that the Rebbe was already building Beis Malchus David, and I was talking about it as a Shabbat too, the inyan that the Goyim, it actually says in Zohar, the Goyim are going to be the ones who scream for Geula even more than Am Yisrael. They're the ones who are going to demand the Geula, and you see that happening all over the world. Another inyan, the Rebbe talks about Lisrof at the Golus. You see in France, Ufaratzta, Yom HaVakom, it's fun of a Negbo. You see that in France, they're burning the Golus. They're going crazy. So everybody's going crazy and screaming they want the Geula. Everybody's screaming we want Mashiach now. What was my point? Yeah. Man, completely forgot my point. But yeah, so crazy stuff happening all over the place. Okay, so we'll just read a little bit more of this, and Zell, I wanted to bring some other points, but I completely forgot. We see the world, even in the Tumah, screaming the Geula is here, and Mashiach is here. Everybody's screaming one Mashiach now. You can clearly see this if you understand, if you get the simanim of the King, Melech Machem Lachim, thank you Hashem, love you Hashem, Baruch Hashem, thank you Hashem for everything. A lot of simanim. I was riding my bike with some I see two doves, in the Pikud Vukadati, double, everything with Mashiach is double, Tzemach Tzedek, Menachem Mendel, Chulu. What else? Yeah. Alright, so let's just read this. The 42 journeys that our forefathers undertook the course of their 40-year trek to the Holy Land began when they left the city of Ramses. And so it's all about the Yetzias Mitzrayim. And like the Satmar Rebbe says, okay, the Inyan that I was talking about earlier, that Hashem already gave the Geula, like a Purim, we have to actually come and take it. And we took it in Yudalid Ba'adar, but actually Hashem gave the Geula in Sivan. So Hashem gave the Geula, Hashem was Midi's a long time, but actually we just need to open up our blind eyes and deaf ears and see what's happening all around us, and we see that Hashem is blowing the great shofar every day. Shofar is happening all the time, and the world is screaming. The nations is screaming one Mashiach now, and they're screaming one Mashiach now. In Israel, they're going crazy, and everybody's going crazy. What's that song? What was that song? What's his name? The Israeli singer, I forgot. Still listening back in the day. There's a song, Ushtaganu, we all Ushtaganu. Tavo, Omed Bishar. Alright, let's just see, So, yeah, we'll get back to what the point of the Satmar Rebbe is saying, that, you can take, you can do that diktuk, it says Mitzrayim, that it says Yetzias Mitzrayim. So it says, it should have said Yetzias Mitzrayim. But the Satmar Rebbe, one of the Satmar Rebbe's said no, because we have to take the Mitzrayim out of us. To take us out of Egypt was easy for Hashem, but to take the Mitzrayim, it's emancipation of the mind, man. That's the hard part, for Gula Protis, to realize what's going around us, to open up our blind eyes and deaf ears. See, Gula Shnemis Mitis is here a long time, and we start to see that, and we come to our end of our journeys, and we come to Gula Protis, we can finally see and finally have the manifest, the Beit HaMikdash from the Ma'ala. Ever that's going to happen. You see everything ready made, like we're living in instant times, instant soups, instant everything. We have the Gula, like the Rebbe said, the Gula, that the base mix will come ready made, man. It's going to come down ready made with the Kohen Gadol. The Rebbe's going to be Kohen Gadol, like Rabbi Mordechai Eliyahu stated, and we already see this happening. We already see this Nevuot years ago, where the Rebbe would light the menorah in 770s. You see the Kohen Gadol lighting the menorah, so we already saw this. We can already see that we can visualize. It says, look in the Rebbe. You want to see the Gula, we want to see what we got to look in the face of the Rebbe. Look in the face of Moshiach Tzidkenu and the Rebbe. You look in the face of the Rebbe, you see what the Rebbe is doing. You see what's happening around. You see, I said this many times. Just not only the dimensions of from Aron Kodesh to the bima to the roof is dimensions of the Mizbeach. The Rebbe says that the Rebbe Kodesh Kedoshim inside his office is Kodesh Kedoshim. As well, you see in Vadut, it's already Gula Shnemis, it's already libations, the wine, there is Kosh Shabachas, the wine spilling all over the place, the libations, the wine, and the Nigunim is the Shirim and the Leviim, Chulu. So there's the Inyanim Shagula happening, we have to, think in godly terms, happening all over the place, man, because God is not limited to one way or another way. God does things in, when we had Matan Torah, they said that it split, or Kiryat Yamsuf, Matan Torah was also all over the world heard Matan Torah, and when there was Kiryat Yamsuf, all people were drinking soup. The soup would split into two. So infinitely more when we have the Beit HaMikdash come ready made down from the Ma'ala. Fusing the two worlds, we're talking about using all the words, and we see things clearly. There won't be any bilbulim anymore. We'll understand things clearly. Chulu. So let's just finish this. We'll just finish this over here. And the Egyptian Delta made their way toward the first encampment site in the wilderness called Sukkot. Sukkot Davin Afeles. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yarim et Sukkot Davin Afeles. They're all the simanim. What the Gula sees so many simanim. There's the imminent Beit HaMikdash HaShlishi. I'm seeing lately, the last month, seeing like crazy. Happening everywhere. You see all in the news and everything. I can bring a million more things if I can think straight. But, I brought some things. It's all that everything, even the biggest tumor screaming, Gula Shnemis Mitis. Like I was sitting in Farbi in Machane Yehuda, and some kid came to me, said, he's upset, the Beit HaMikdash was here, and people are partying and this and that, So I said, it's all good. Hashem loves everybody. La'at. So talking about, saying, he was saying, this is the Rebbe's, Farbin, the Rebbe's one with his Chassidim, chulu. So we have this Galui, the Rebbe, and the Galui Melech HaMashiach is happening all the time, if you can understand and see things properly. So first I said, no, the Rebbe, the whole Machane Yehuda, the Rebbe is a Dvadut Shel Rebbe. It's all one big Farbi. Then I thought about it, the Rebbe is Kedusha. The Rebbe's, Rebbe's Kodesh Kedoshim. So okay, over here in the Kedusha is the Dvadut of the Rebbe, and the rest of the Shuk is the Dvadut Shel Hashem Yisbarach B'atzmo. I see, thinking about Pinchas and the balls Pinchas had. We went and, we look at Moshe Rabbeinu, and, when Moshe Rabbeinu, when he broke the luchos, and Hashem gave the second luchos is, added the halachot and brought it more to Tachtona, so last forever, chulu. But the fact that Moshe broke the luchos to save Am Yisrael, so Moshe Keilu said, what's greater, the Torah, Am Yisrael? But so the Torah is for Am Yisrael to learn the Torah and to do the Torah and to have Yisrael, chulu. So you see the great Mesiras Nefesh that Moshe Rabbeinu had, where he said, take me out of the Torah, and he broke the luchos. How crazy it is, because Hashem can get angry. But you see in this, the ultimate love that Hashem has for Am Yisrael, and my Am lo chol chabot et ahava nafshi she'esh aleinu, l'Hashem yisbarach Hashem esh aleinu, chulu. So this is, we see all these things, all these crazy things happening. I bring a million more things, but I guess we'll just end right there. Baruch Hashem, So, what is the end of our journeys, man? The Gula's here, man. So you just have to open up your blind eyes with that fears. L'chaim, 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 l'vocha. Bli l'chaim en chaim, bli levraka. Ain't shum davar. Ain't bracha. L'chaim, 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 v'levraka, v'livracha. Vocha d'mecha l'boire pri agofen. We all have the Gula Shnemas and Mitis. We all boys Zoiche for the Gula Shnemas and Mitis. L'chaim, l'vocha. May God bless.